back on that football field for the Chicago Bears, right?
Definitely. I'm just blessed to, get the opportunity, to be with the Chicago Bears and excited to get back out there and play football.
What's it been like for you over the last couple of years? You've had some challenges going on in your life. What have you learned from all this stuff?
The number one thing that I learned is, just got to make better decisions, because every decision you make is going to have a consequence to it. I made a few bad decisions in the past, and I had to pay for it. But, that was in the past, and now I'm ready just to move on.
Watching you work out is scary. Look, you've always been. Listen, I remember you racing on Green Tree. I've watched you in practice over the years. Back when you were at the U, just put people to shame. It looks like you haven't lost your desire to be physically better than people because I've watched you work out over here. It's unbelievable. How determined are you in this process of this offseason and getting ready to just get to the Chicago Bears and just kick some butt?
I'm definitely determined. A lot of times you don't want to feel like you have to prove something to someone else.
Right.
But, because of the year that I had last year and maybe things that people may have said about me and being released by the Broncos, I am a little bit more determined to show people, that I still do have it and I still love the game and I still have the passion for the game.
Some would argue, DJ, you're stepping into some huge shoes in Chicago. Brian Urlacher, he was first released. Now he's retired. You're taking over that spot. What is it like going into that Bears, especially just the history of the Bears defense and you stepping in for them?
I'm enjoying it. It's great to go to another city where football is huge and a lineage of great defense and linebackers. I know I'm not going to be a Brian Urlacher. I'm going to just be myself, but I'm excited to be out there with Lance Briggs, with James Anderson, and, Julius Peppers and Tillman and Jennings and all these other guys. After being there for a week, I realized that, I feel like I'm the weak link because everybody, knows the defense so well, has been playing in the defense for so long and comfortable with it. And so I'm just excited to get out there and just really get into some live action.
How different is this defense? You're going back to the 3-4. Have they determined you're playing in the middle? And I guess what's the most difficult part for you?
Honestly, I played this position before, but I haven't played it in many, many years. And, I played a defense similar to this, a cover 2. But, the Bears are the king of it. There's so many intangibles to it and so many little details I need to learn. But, as far as, like, the physical things that they're going to ask me to do, I can do them greatly. Now it's just about, dissecting the playbook and getting things down and, mentally getting the things. I see a lot of big plays in the future.
How have you had an OTA yet, or have you actually been up there running around in the field yet, or not yet?
Yeah, I've been in Chicago the last 3 months. I think we've had 9 or 10 OTAs. So we're kind of gelling together and understanding the playbook and just getting out there and doing semi-real football.
For you, how is it not adapting on the field but off the field to a new locker room, new city? It's a town that loves their football, has a great lineage of linebackers, like you said, but just the personal part of it. Forget about the on-the-field stuff. Just the personal part of moving to a new city and adapting to new friends and new teammates.
You know what it's like being a new kid in school.
Right.
But, football is a kind of a thing where there's a lot of connections. Whether you played with a guy, got coached by the same guy, or played against a guy. So there's already kind of relationships built, within the team. I'd say right now there's probably like 4 or 5 guys that I've played with and another 4 or 5 guys that I've had the same coach with, so there are relationships there already.
So that has to help the transition.
It definitely does, because at first you walk into the locker room and everybody's looking at you and they're telling stories about last year. You have no idea, and you kind of just sit there and be the new kid until time passes and you can join in on the stories.
What's it like having a guy like Devin Hester there from the U? Coach Trestman also has a history with the University of Miami. Have you been able to maybe exchange war stories with either of them?
Yeah, definitely. Me and Hester were in the same workout group. And, when I first got there, he did make, things make me adapt a little bit more and things more comfortable, because I did have a friend, a relationship, a brother that I can talk to and, kind of relive old stories and talk about things, but, the team is taking me in pretty well. That's what I love about the team. Everybody gets along. Everybody hangs out with everybody, whether it's a O-lineman hanging out with a DB. The whole team has a very good chemistry.
Let me ask you this question. Have you tried to race Devin Hester yet?
No. I know you guys heard about it. I raced Jimmy Graham.
Right, yes.
Yeah, well, the year before that, I raced a 17-year-old, pulled my hamstring. Then I raced Jimmy and pulled my hamstring. So
your racing days are over?
I officially retired.
Well, okay, so in that case, it's not going to happen. I think you could beat Devin.
You know what?
I watched you work out. I think you could beat him.
I'll probably slap his hand and trip him off the line, then I think I can get him.
DJ Williams with us here on All Canes Radio. Nice enough to join us before he heads down to the Heat game. We definitely want to talk to you about the NFL, but we got to do some reminiscing about your days at the U. And I was actually thinking about this afternoon. It's kind of odd for me. When I think about some of the biggest plays you made, they were offensive ones.
Yeah.
And it's weird because, look, you had a lot of huge hits and a lot of huge plays on defense, but, like the touchdown in the Sugar Bowl or the fake punt against Florida State in the Orange Bowl, it's just odd to me that you, who are a menacing linebacker, when I think about some of the highlights, the offense stuff comes to mind first. Is that
you know what,
am
honestly,
I off on that?
No, you're very on. Offense was my first love. In high school, I played running back, ran for like 30, 40 yards short of 2,038 touchdowns.
Right.
So it was my first love. A few schools actually did offer me a position to play to go in and start offense, but I did come to University of Miami, and I still ended up playing offense my first year.
Right.
I played fullback. I enjoy having the ball in my hand back then.
Right.
Now, don't give me the ball. Anybody hits me, I'm fumbling out the gate. So,
what made you switch, DJ? Was it eventually the coaches trying to convince you, hey, move to linebacker, or was it ultimately your decision?
Well, wait. I want to take this. Sorry, Platon. I want to take this back. How'd you get to fullback in the first place?
Let me see. Freshman year, I was battling with Howard Clark for starting linebacker position. The starting fullback had some type of equilibrium problem.
Will McPartland.
Yeah, that's right. Concussion issues. Yeah.
And then I ended up separating my shoulder and being behind 3 weeks. And then Howard ended up beating me out of the job.
Right.
And, they saw it as I had too much talent just to sit on the bench. And, they asked me when I play offense. And I was excited because that's what I always wanted to play anyway. But after playing a year of fullback, I realized that it's basically linebacker with no arms. You just put your arms behind your back and you just run into people. And every time you get the ball, it's going to be a setup. It's going to be
right. You're like the sacrificial lamb.
Yes.
It's like just hit somebody so that the other guy behind you can get further.
Definitely. So it was a career move, and that's how I ended up getting on the defense side of the ball. Funny story though, the first year that I got there, Coach has it on film. I actually got down in an offensive stance at linebacker.
You forgot what side of the ball.
The sun got to me, and I kind of lost it. And they said down set, and I got down.
Let's talk about your recruiting for a second, because you're one of the guys I remember, because you came to the U just as the internet age started to come about, and the message boards and those recruiting sites, and you were obviously one of the highest touted recruits in the country. And I remember, it was, it got out of control, your recruitment, at least just from UM fan standpoint. We started literally, and I was one of those geeks that was on the message board, we started making up things like, well, DJ Williams' dog says he's coming to the U, so evidently he's coming to the U, stuff like that. What was it like being recruited?
You want to know the truth about the recruits?
Yeah.
UM didn't even recruit me. I was in my coach's office. I had chosen my 4 trips, and I wanted to go somewhere fun. And I was going to try to go to Hawaii.
Well,
but
why wouldn't you?
Hawaii said you had to make a verbal commit.
Right.
So instead, we were like, let's go to Miami. So I actually called UM up. I forgot which lady I spoke to in the office, and I was like, this is DJ Williams. I'd like to come take a trip. She kind of blew me off like, yeah, whatever, hung up the phone. 10 minutes later, they called me back. I talked to every coach in the building.
Right.
It actually was my first recruiting trip, and I actually did, fall in love with the team, the city. I liked the campus because it was small. I went to a small private school for high school, and I also remember, watching a few games, watching some hits by Nate Webster. I remember, watching
gangster linebacker.
Yeah, I remember watching the fights and things like that. When you're young and you get excited by that, and I always want to play with a team with a white helmet.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
seems pretty important. Who else did you end up taking any other trips?
I went to Florida State, Michigan, Texas, and University of Berkeley.
Those are all fun schools.
Yeah.
I can see you hitting the good ones. So ultimately, why'd you choose the U? Just
Like you said, I was had a recruit, out of California, and I always heard that football was as biggest in Florida and Texas. And I challenged myself. I said I wanted to go somewhere and play, with the best. And during that time, the best on the West Coast actually wasn't SC or Cal, it was Washington.
Right.
And I decided to take a chance and go to University of Miami. And I like the tradition. I like what they stood for, and I just like the way the guys carry themselves on the field.
I know you got to get to a Heat game, DJ, and we're going to get you out of here. But we've talked about your football days, and now you're in the NFL. But you've got a couple businesses that I think we need to talk about.
No doubt about it.
One is you're wearing the Dime Life T-shirt. Tell us how that came about, what Dime Life exactly means, and where we can buy some tees.
Definitely. Dime Life came about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, that's the symbol.
That's the symbol. Oh, symbol right there.
Dime Life came about 4 or 5 years ago. A few of my friends, we weren't having a great season. I think we went 4-12, and we kind of wanted to just start enjoying ourselves. Football was stressful enough, and during our free time, we started enjoying, just hanging out, maybe go to dinner with each other, go bowling, just relaxing, and we started calling it Dime Time. And I made a shirt for us one weekend in Las Vegas. We went to Las Vegas. It got a lot of attention, and Dime is actually an acronym for Do You Motivate and Emanate. So it's a positive thing, and we're trying to make it a culture. Let people know you don't need to have money. It's not monetary. You can go hang out with your boys and fish. That's Dime Time. Or you can, do something, next level, G5 jet or boat cruise. But, the Dime Life is basically just enjoying yourself and living, your life to the fullest. And you can find it at www.dimelife.com. You can check me out on Instagram at Dime Life, and you can check me out on Twitter at DimeLife55.
I know, so you're kind of developed that entrepreneurial spirit, business mind, aside from just on the mind. And a lot of guys in the NFL do that. They realize that there's more to life than just football. What else you got going on?
I have a few hours together with actually some guys. Me, Jonathan Vilma, and John Beeson just put up a Brother Jimmy's Barbecue, 900 South Miami Avenue in Mary Brickell. We put up another lounge called Foxhole, which is on 14th and Alton on Miami Beach, and we're actually putting up another.
That's a really cool lounge.
Yeah, we're actually putting up another Brother Jimmy's right across the street where the old Dan Marino's used to be in Sunset.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cane fans come out there and support.
That's huge. That's huge right there.
We had way too many Florida Gator fans last year. They were renting out the venue. We're the Cane fans.
Can't let them happen.
Can't let them happen.
Can't let it happen.
We'll make that happen.
All right, so before we let you go down to the Heat game, Platon, I think we need to get the Pro Canes question of the week.
We always do this with all our guests, DJ, and it's our Pro Canes question of the week. When you look back at your days at the U, what's one memory that stands out for you, whether it's a play, a game, a moment, maybe even off the field?
Let me think. Actually, you know what I remember, and I was just up at a fundraiser in Chicago for University of Miami.
Yeah, the coach's dinner, yeah.
We all sat up there and we told stories, and I'll tell kind of the same story here. When I came to University of Miami, I'm from the Bay Area.
Right.
Berkeley-ish, kind of free-spirited, hippies, laid back.
Gotcha. Hate Ashbury. Gotcha.
And, I come down here to South Miami, it's a little bit different.
Right.
And, my first week here, all my friends back home asked me what it's like. And I was like, it's like jail. I was like, being in the locker room is like jail. I was like, at any given time, guys are yelling. Guys are hitting on plates, making us dance. We're wrestling. We're doing all type of things. And it's like, and as it was a rule as a freshman, you never wanted to be in the locker room alone.
Right.
Because the older guys would get you. But it was all fun and love.
Right, sure.
It wasn't extreme hazing. It was just, a part of the tradition. But as a freshman, you never wanted to walk in a locker room alone. And I remember my first day here, me being the highly touted recruit in front of everybody in the lunchroom. They started hitting the plates, and they made me get up and dance in front of everybody.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I'll never forget.
I'm going to push you on this. I need one play that you remember that you made that when you're sitting in your bed at night, you're thinking back to your days, gives you a smile.
That fake punt.
Fake punt, yeah.
Wait. But here's why. And I actually scored in the one against Temple. The fake punt against Florida State. we practiced it all week. And
By the way, I actually got 6 inches of air
Oh, did you?
when you did that. Yeah, managed to lift myself off the ground.
Well, actually, we practiced it all week, and there was
Right.
a certain formation that they had to line up in, and the count had to be right. And so we come out there, and I look, and the count isn't right, but I called it anyway. And everybody kind of paused and looked, like whispered back, like, no, it's not 4 by 3. And I was like, I forgot what the call was. Ringo. I called it again, and
Right.
and everybody trusted me, and they snapped me the ball because I wanted to get the game over with.
Right.
And
I want to go party.
and they actually were disguising and caught them in an all-out blitz, and we got 50, 60 yards, and we got down. And when I got to the sideline, I remember Coach Don Solinger saying, "You got some big balls, bro."
Oh, that's awesome. DJ, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for everything you've done for the U over the years. We loved watching you work out over here, but we're going to love watching you with the Chicago Bears. Have an unbelievable season. Good luck with all your business endeavors, and we'll let everyone know what's going on with you, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
DJ Williams, everybody joining us here on All Canes Radio. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more live from Shake Shack in the Gables, 1450 South Dixie Highway. We will be back after this on All Canes Radio.
We don't care about nobody except it's you. We don't.
You're listening to All Canes Radio.
You're a Canes fan.